What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Feed the Beast Infinity Evolved Expert Mode. Oh yeah, guys. So, we're here back in the quarry world. Yeah, I was doing some work in this area after last episode. I decided, we needed more solar panels because we want to do stuff a lot faster. So anyway, yeah, I started making solar panels and then we ran out of materials and I made more materials, more of like the irradiated uranium or whatever the stuff is, the glowstone uranium stuff. Anyway, I made a bunch more of that, then I made more solar panels, and I kept going back and forth, and finally we ended up with this many, which I think is over 90 of them. Yeah, I don't know what the exact number is. There's a few here anyway. So yeah, we have quite a few of these. Each one of these makes 512 EU per tick. So yeah, we are generating quite a lot of EU power. So since we have upgraded our power supply, I kept upgrading how many overclocker upgrades we were using in these recyclers. Currently we're up to 20, and that's using 1,208,000% more power, I think is what that says. Anyway, yeah, these machines are taking a lot of power to go through stacks of cobblestone like really fast. Look how fast that is. Like a stack comes in, it's gone. It's there, it's gone. Anyway, so we are going through cobblestone really, really fast. The only way I can increase our speed right now is to make our cobblestone a lot faster. But we'll get to that later. I did add in some more of these energy storage upgrades. In fact, we had none before, so I have added these in. 16, I had made one stack, and I noticed that one stack was like really more than what we needed for one machine, so I just, split that between the 4. So 16 in here. You can kind of see the power meter goes down a little bit. Yeah, without those power upgrades in there, like the power bar would go all the way down and it'd be out of power, struggling to go through those. But yeah, with these energy storage upgrades, it's fine. It's got a little bit of a buffer. So yeah, we have the cobblestone generating over here. I moved this back here and I have in a bunch of world interaction upgrades on these transfer nodes. I have 3 transfer nodes, 2 right here, 1 underneath the tesseract, also facing into that piece of cobblestone. Yeah, and each one of these, I guess I could add more world interaction upgrades into this particular one. Yeah, I think I need to do that actually. Yeah, so we could add more of these transfer nodes. We have one more spot available on the bottom and we could put that into this tesseract as well. But beyond that, we're going to have to add in more generators. So yeah, I had this moved back here for a reason, actually. I was over here messing around with our recyclers and things like that. And I dropped something on the ground. I don't know what it was, like beef Wellington or I don't know, something. And it disappeared, and I was like, what the heck? So I'm sitting here like completely confused. I'm going around, I'm like, why would that disappear? And I kept trying and things kept disappearing. I couldn't figure it out. So I thought maybe it had something to do with our quarry that we had way up here. Like this thing had stopped a long time ago, but these markers are still here marking out the border. So I thought maybe like the old style, what was it? The BuildCraft quarry. I think if you drop something in the quarry area, it would suck it up and, send it back to your storage system. So I was thinking that was the case. So I ended up tearing this all down and trying it again. And sure enough, it kept sucking up my stuff and I couldn't figure out why. Yeah, it turns out because I had the cobblestone generator right here. And these things have the world interaction upgrades in it. These are the things that we've been using to pick items up out of the world, like for our mob farms or whatever, suck them up into the transfer node and send them off into our system, right? So even though this is set up as a cobblestone generator, it will still suck up items nearby, which I thought was really weird. So if I drop one of these beef Wellingtons, it's gone. Like where'd it go? I don't know. But it's gone. So it got sent to the transfer node over here, probably got recycled in one of these things. Or maybe it's right here. I don't know. It's gone. It definitely got recycled. So yeah, you got to be really careful around that style of a cobblestone generator. You don't drop anything on the ground because it's going to send it off somewhere or it's going to clog up one of your transfer nodes, whatever the case may be. I don't think there's anywhere for that thing to get clogged. I think it would immediately get sent to one of those recyclers. But anyway, I moved that far away for safety. I ended up making a cobblestone channel. So we're sending the cobblestone wirelessly over here to this deep storage unit. And this transfer node right here is pulling the cobblestone out of the deep storage and sending it over to our recyclers to be recycled, which we are turning into these scrap boxes. And yeah, our mass fabricator is going decently quickly right now, which is pretty awesome. So that's going decently quickly. So we're making the plutonium decently quickly. yeah, I like seeing that number rise as fast as it is, but we're going to step this up. We're going to make this more powerful over time. So back here at the base, I was working on the B area one more time. It was just one small change. Previously, for our comb processing back here, we had the combs being put through an export bus into a chest, and then from that chest, we were using the Ender IO cables to distribute those combs, yeah, to all these different centrifuges along with the power, right? So previously, we had this set up as an export bus right here, exporting into this chest, which means the combs would go into our system. We could see them when we look in here and type in comb. We could see them come in, and I'm actually not sure why we have combs here now. We shouldn't. Right. So anyway, we would see them come in here, and then they would disappear because the export bus would send them away, right? Yeah, right now, the way this is set up is we have this on a storage bus, and the storage bus is immediately dropping those combs, or should be immediately dropping those combs, into this slightly larger chest here. And this storage bus is also set to insert only, so we will never see those combs coming into the system. I'm actually kind of confused. It's like it stopped doing that for a moment. Maybe I did something with that when I wasn't paying attention. I don't know. We should never see those combs in the ME system though. All right, so anyway, yeah, no more combs in here. I'll keep an eye on this. I'm not sure why they would have backed up like that. Maybe I did something with the ME system and I just didn't pay attention. I don't know. We got yellow colored combs here for some reason. I guess those will be processed in due time. But yeah, that was just a small little change that I made. I was down looking at our ME system down below. I guess all of our storage drives down here. And yeah, I've added in more 64K drives on the back of this one and a bunch more over here. And I saw that we were starting to fill up these. So I was looking at this number right here, and this number kept saying like, 15 types and then go back to 11, then up to like 17 and back down. And yeah, it turns out it was the combs coming into the system and leaving the system. So I just wanted to fix that problem so we weren't, sending too much data to the disks and using Applied Energistics, whatever. Just trying to clean up the network and the system that much more. Okay, so last episode, we were working with the Witch's Oven. We were trying to make our way to the Blood Altars so we could make our alchemic chemistry set, and we got to the point where we were doing the rowan wood, right? So I think we should have everything in the system now. Let's check this out. Altar. Yeah, we have everything in the system now to make this. Oh, you know what? We need more stone brick. That is super difficult. Let's go ahead and craft that. And there we go. Okay, so there's 4 altar blocks, and we need that for our blood altar. Then we needed the mana steel, living rock slab, and attuned stone. The attuned stone actually is something I'm not sure about. Mana diamond lava bucket, whiff of mana. Oh, we have to smelt a rowan sapling. Dang it, I didn't know we were gonna have to do any more of that. Okay. Well, we have some of these rowan saplings. In fact, I cut down a few of those trees. Let's go ahead and get that smelting so we can get the whiff of mana. And then the living rock slab. Yeah, we have one of these from before when I accidentally made the diluted mana pool, and it turned out that we didn't need to do that. Okay, so let's go back to this thing and this thing. Wait, what? What were we just looking? Oh, okay, yeah, it was that needs the slab. I was like, what were we just looking at that needed that thing? I got confused for a second. Okay, so there's a whiff of mana. I'll let the rest of that cook up so we can get some more of that stuff. So we need a mana diamond. I don't think we have one. No, we don't. Let's go make one real quick. Let's go over to our Botania area. Boop. And we'll just throw a diamond in here. That's another thing I need to do. I need to get a way for these mana pools. I know there's a way later on in Botania where you can move the stuff around using these sparks. You can pull out mana up from mana pools and fill up another mana pool using these sparks. That's something I want to do so I can have one where I can just easily toss something into it. I know right now I could use these mana spreaders to pull the mana out and send it over, but I don't really want to do that. So anyway, I just deal with the hitbox. So yeah, let's go ahead and head back to the base. We have our 1 mana diamond that we needed. We need a lava bucket. We already have one in the system, very good. Let us make this thing. Attuned stone. There's a blood altar. All right, we're mostly there, I think, unless something else is going to get me. So we need to toss a brewing stand into the blood altar when we have 2,500 LP. It only needs to be a tier 1, so that just means we have to set it on the ground, and that's it. Boom, tier 1, done. All right, so we need a way to get LP into our blood altar. Now, I don't know. Let's go ahead and get rid of some of this other stuff that we don't need. I don't know how blood magic has been changed. I think there was like a sacrificial orb, this thing right here. So we have to put blood onto a mana pearl. Well, that's easy. Okay. Mana pearl. Got one of those. Yeah, we have blood right here. Okay, so I can just go ahead and fill the smeltery. Let's make sure this is not turned on. All right, so we'll set this import bus. Is that blood? I don't know if that's blood. It is now. All right, we'll just hit the button. We'll fill this full of blood. Put that pattern away. We'll stick this little fella right there and turn that on. Cool. That's all we needed to do. What happens when you put blood directly in there? Do we make coagulated blood? Yes. Okay, so anyway, sacrificial orb. So I believe all I gotta do is stand next to this thing and click this, not click it on there. Let's not kill ourselves. So there we go. There's a little bit of blood in there. We don't have a way to see how much stuff is in there. However, I have in the past made a ComputeCraft program where I can stick a computer and a monitor right next to this thing and it'll show us. So tell you guys what, let me go ahead, wait for my health to regenerate. And I will download that ComputeCraft program, hook it up right here, and we will have a little readout of how much stuff is in our blood altar. I love it when old code just works. All I gotta do is just download my paste bin from before, and I get my little life essence reading. That's amazing. Yeah, unfortunately, the way the code was written, the computer has to be set in a certain direction, so you have to face it so the computer, the front of it is facing away, the back of it is touching the blood altar, but yeah. It is pretty good. So it says life essence 4,400 out of 10,000. So if I click the thing, 46. Cool. So yeah, it definitely reads and it updates pretty quickly to let you know how much stuff is in your altar. Awesome. So what we needed to do was take a blaze rod, one of these things, and some cobblestone, some of these, and do one of those actions. No? Okay. Okay. Hold on. Is it? Oh, it's stone slab. Of course it is stone slab. All right, so we take some stone slab. There we go. Stone slab's right in here, and it does its little thingy. We can watch the counter count down. It said it was only going to take like 2,400 life essence, and there we go. There is our alchemic chemistry set. I think we're going to go ahead and just tell this thing to get wrecked. I guess they could have used that instead of making another one, but that's fine. We'll put this one away for later. Cool. So now we have our alchemic chemistry set. We still have to make ourselves a thing. The orb. All right. So let's see. What was the next thing that we wanted to do? So we were looking at making the Essentia storage housing, which required this stuff. Aha. So we need a blood orb. So can we use like a really cheap one? There's an apprentice one. So we need to put Prismarine from Britannia in the blood altar. It has to be a level 2. Oh, come on. Really? Okay. So we're going to have to beef up our blood altar just a little bit. We have to make it tier 2. We have to give it 5,000 LP, and then we can get the apprentice blood orb. Let's actually look and make sure. Oh, you know what? There might the weak blood orb. Okay, so tier 1 mana diamond. All right, so we'll do it this way. I think that's all we need to do. All right, so let's grab another diamond. Got it. Okay, so let's head back. So it said we needed how much to make the weak blood orb? 2,000. So all we gotta do is just drop that little fella right in there. We already have the 2,000 in there, and we are good to go. We'll just let this thing suck out most of the life essence, and that'll turn into the blood orb. Cool, let's wait for that to happen. Looks like that's gonna take a minute. All right, and here we go. Yep, our mana diamond turned into a weak blood orb. Let's go ahead and pull that out. I guess I have to do it with an empty hand. Got it. Awesome. So This thing just says stores raw life essence. Now you have to right click this in air. You take a little bit of damage and then it binds it to yourself. Awesome. So from now on, anything that I do with this blood orb, yeah, that's going to be putting stuff into my blood network. So I can stick this thing right in here. It's going to suck up the rest of the stuff that's in the altar there and put that into my network. I can also sit here at the sacrificial orb and click this a few times to fill up the blood altar, like a so. You know, it'd be a good use. We have like 1 billion of these hearts. I guess the red ones we have 1 billion of too. You can eat these and these refill your health. So I can eat those things and then spam this a little bit more and fill up the altar. Just gotta keep watch that I don't kill myself. Have a couple more of these things because they are delicious. And fill up my altar more. Like so. All right, so that's full. So all this stuff is being put into my LP network. We can't really see at this point in time how much stuff is in there, but trust me, it is going in. I think we can also make a... All right, well, I ended up having to search just for sigil, and I found it right here. Yeah, even when I narrowed the search all the way down to just sigils, it's like impossible for me to find. But anyway, it's called a divination sigil, not a division sigil. They're almost similar in name, but they are different. So yeah, we're gonna want to make one of these eventually. And looks like we have to make another blood orb. In order to make it, looks like a weak blood orb will work. We have to have niter, a blank slate, and then some mana glass. This is probably something that I'm gonna want to make. Blank slate, I believe you can make just by putting, I was wrong. I shouldn't assume anything. In normal blood magic, you just put regular stone in there. In expert mode, we have to put an arcane stone block. Cool, all right. Well, let me go ahead and get some of this stuff done. I'll make a niter, I'll make the blank slate, I'll make another blood orb. We might be able to use the same one we have. I don't know if that uses it in the recipe or if we keep this item. Sometimes we keep it on some of these recipes I've done before. Anyway, I'll figure it out. I'll make one of those. We'll be back. All right, guys. So I just made a few of these niters, and yeah, I made the division sigil. You do keep divination sigil. I'm going to say this the wrong way. Yeah, you do keep your weak blood orb. This does not get used up in that recipe, so that is pretty nice. So anyway, we can now use this thing. Whoops. We can now click this in midair, and it'll show us how much essence is in our LP. We can also shift click this on the alt, or maybe just click on the altar. Yeah, that'll also show us how much LP is in there, which is the exact same reading that our screen here says, so we never need to click it on there, to be honest. So we need to start making some stuff over here. So we were looking at the Essentia storage, right? So we needed the warded glass. We have to make this stuff. This is blood magic stuff. So in order to make the purple thingy, we need the simple catalyst, and that is sugar, 2 redstone, gunpowder, and glowstone dust. All of that plus an orb in here will start making the simple catalyst. So I'll throw my orb in there. Things are going to start happening. We get the little swirlies on top, and there's one. And I think it goes a little bit faster after the first one. I could be wrong. Maybe it's still going to go pretty slow. But anyway, I'm going to let this go through, make that full stack of the simple catalyst. Is that using? Yeah, that's using LP for my network. So I'm going to have to refill up my network after a certain amount of time. I guess we get a little bar on the left-hand side there. I didn't notice this before. That should also tell me how much blood is in my blood network, I suppose. Yeah, we're about 3/4 of the way full, according to that meter. I'll believe it. Cool. So anyway, let me go ahead and cook up some of this stuff, and then we will go ahead and cook up this. So it's just glowstone, gunpowder, and redstone, plus that simple catalyst to make this little fella, and then this one down here, snow and ice, and more simple catalyst. All right, let me do some crafting, and we'll be back, guys. All right, guys, so I got all of the simple catalysts made, and I started making the recipe to make the purple stuff, whatever this thing was called. We go back in here real quick. Yeah, this. So we needed redstone, gunpowder, and 2 glowstone, plus a simple catalyst. And yeah, we put our blood orb here, and we started making the purple stuff. Well, we're not making the purple stuff. Why? Because this blood orb is too low of a tier to make it. So in order to make the second tier blood orb, we have to increase our blood altar to the tier 2. And then we have to put the thing in and convert it and make the orb, which was prismarine from Britannia, if I remember correctly. So, in order to increase our blood altar to the tier 2, I think we need blood rune is the name of the block. Yeah, we need blood runes. We need 8 of these things. So in order to make blood runes, we need 2 blank slates, 4 stone, a waystone, and then a shard of some type. Yeah, whichever one. It doesn't look like it's of any importance, just any of the Thaumcraft shards. And that will make that. So the blank slate was arcane stone blocks. So we're going to need 16 of these things. We're going to need 8 waystones and some stone. Actually, I clicked off there too quickly. The waystone is made from throwing flint into a mana pool. You get 4 of these things. Let's get flint. Yeah, we'll try this once again. We'll head back to the Botania area, see if my aim's any better. All right, let's try this one. Can I toss it in there? Nope. Dang it. Yeah, I really need to figure out a better way to do this. So anyway, let me go ahead and get some crafting done here. Did that work? Did I get them all in there? Did we get 4 stacks? We did. Awesome. Yeah, let me go ahead and get some crafting done here. We need to put a bunch of the arcane stone blocks through here, all 16 of those. I need to eat a bunch of the hearts and use the blood sacrificial orb thingy a bunch of times. Yeah, let me go ahead and do some stuff, and once again, we'll be back, guys. All right, well, that crafting's done. I made 8 of these blood runes. Yeah, just a hole in the center, and then you put the blood altar on top of that. Yeah, so we're surrounded 1 block below. Then I hooked my computer back up. The essence inside is still the same, 10,000. That doesn't change, I don't think, until you add in some different types of these blood runes that augments the capacity. I think that's how you do this. It's been a while since I've used blood magic, but I seem to remember that's the way that works. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is get the prismarine to make this apprentice blood orb, since this is tier 2 and we can now craft that. So in order to make the prismarine, we are going to need some kind of a cobblestone and then 4 of these prismarine shards. Prismarine shard is made by putting nether quartz into a mana pool that has alchemy catalyst on it. Okay. Is there any other way to make it? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so an alchemy catalyst is made from a crazy recipe. Okay, so we need to make a balanced shard and smelt that. That's not super difficult. We need 2 alchemic chemistry sets, so we need to throw away 2 more brewing stands. All right, so that one that we had extra from earlier will get used. Some blaze rods, golden chalk, so witch's cauldron, mandrake, gold nugget, ritual chalk. The ritual chalk is, oh my goodness, tier of the goddess, which is, we have to make a distillery. Okay, so this is a new machine that I've never used before. So breath of the goddess, which we got previously, plus a lapis, yeah, piece of lapis, and then some clay jars. Wood ash we have plenty of from before, and gypsum is more distillery, so we need foul fume and quick lime. And quick lime is wood ash. Okay, so we need a distillery. So the distillery from Witchery is made by an attuned stone, some gold, mana steel, odor of purity, and whiff of magic. I think we might have some extra whiffs of magic. Yeah, we already got some of that stuff. Okay, I don't know why I ran back over here. So distillery, yeah, we need odor of purity, which is hawthorn sapling. Okay, so that's the same thing. I'm gonna have to grow some of those hawthorn trees. We did get 1 sapling last time. Yeah, we got the 1 sapling, but I haven't done anything with this yet. So bone meal, looks like it's time to grow, chop down some trees, collect saplings, and do the thing we've been doing with the witch's oven. Cool. Let me get to that, and we'll be back, guys. All right, guys, so I made myself the distillery, and I put all the items in here that we needed in order to get to the gypsum, which is foul fume, plus quick lime, and a clay jar. Looks like you just drop those items in and things happen and you get this stuff as an end result. So I was confused. I put the stuff in there, nothing's happening. Well, apparently you have to power the distillery. Well, how do you power it? You have to make yourself an altar. So an altar, you have to make 6 altar blocks and you have to put these in a 2x3, something like this. And when you make the multi-block, yeah, you can see this thing is now doing stuff. Yeah, that little icon there, I suppose, means it has no altar power. So by default, this thing charges at a rate of 1x, and you can do things to increase that rate. Like if you put a wither skeleton skull on the altar, shift place it, we now get a 3x. Yep. I've seen these little sparklies go into the altar every now and then. I'm not sure what exactly that's coming from, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest. And then you can also increase this further by putting a torch on there. Now we're up to ×4. So yeah, we can see the altar is gaining power. The power is being used over here by a distillery. I don't know if like having this thing have more power makes this go faster, or if that just means we can have more distilleries around, whatever. So we get a slime ball, we get gypsum, and we get oil of vitriol. All right, so we have to do that again, I think, because we needed, we needed the thing. We needed 2 of those, right? Yeah, 2 gypsum. So we need 1 more foul fume. And you can get the foul fume. It's not going, all right. Yeah, you get the foul fume by smelting regular logs in the witch's oven with clay jars. You get charcoal like you normally would, but that's just the extra stuff you get is the foul fume. Okay, cool. So we got the gypsum under control. Tear of the Goddess is the next thing. Right, we need the distillery, Breath of the Goddess plus lapis. Cool. Let me go ahead and do some more of this witchery brewing stuff, and we'll be back, guys. And we're done. There it is. Yes, we got it. Alchemy Catalyst, right on. So all we got to do is put this underneath the mana pool and then drop some nether quartz, right? I think that's what the recipe was. So let me take a couple, I guess a few stacks with me. We'll do 4 stacks of this stuff so I don't have to do this for a while. Put away all this extra garbage. Yeah, so as it turns out, when you are making the golden chalk, yeah, I'm learning these things as we go. It doesn't say anything on this NEI screen here, but yeah, when you're making this golden chalk, the cauldron has to be near the altar. I did 2 of these recipes without, and you just lose your stuff, as far as I can tell. So yeah, I had to make another set of the, what is this stuff called? The ritual chalk. Yep. Anyway, I moved the altar over here, and then I moved the distillery over here. So the distillery is within range of the altar, and our witch's cauldron is within range of the altar. If you drop those items in without the altar nearby, the stuff inside turns kind of like a brownish color, and it boils and doesn't do anything. Yeah, and it's not until you have the altar nearby that you drop the stuff in and you get the little sparklies and swirlies and things like that we saw before when we were doing stuff in the altar. Anyway, let's take our alchemy catalyst over to Botania Land. I'm going to rename the thing, I think, so it says Botania Land here in a minute. Well, let's see. I can't exactly put that underneath one of these because we're going to remove the comparator if I do. Huh. I think we're going to have to set up another one of these areas. Well, I guess I can go ahead and destroy one of these. I'm hearing a bat somewhere, and that's annoying me. Yeah, I think we can go ahead and take apart one of these for the time being. Yeah, because we have to have the alchemy catalyst directly below. Let's get rid of, well, yeah, let's get rid of this thing. Okay, so that's broken. We'll put the alchemy catalyst here. All right. Why is that dropping? Oh, because this thing isn't powered anymore. So that's my fault. Anyway, let's try throwing this stuff in. There's my magnet off. It is. We have the alchemy catalyst below. Come on. Get in there. There we go. There's our prismarine. Aw, yeah. That's the stuff right there. Nice. Very cool, very cool. So now we'll be able to make our prismarine block. All right, there's all the stuff. Yeah, as far as this goes, I'm gonna have to fix this thing. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe, whoops, I didn't mean to wreck that. Maybe I'll take this lever, is what I was gonna say, and stick this up here on the thing so it stops dropping the blaze rods. That's probably what we're gonna do. Nope, I can't put it there. Where did that lever go? Way over here. I'll stick it next to that one. Otherwise, we're going to power the entire line and everything will stop working. Anyway, let's head back home. So, Cobblestone plus the prismarine makes these things. Awesome. So we needed 2 of these. Well, actually, I think we only need 1, but I'm going to make 2 so I can keep 1 in the blood altar and I can use 1 for crafting. Yeah, let's go ahead and stick 1 in there. That's going to use our life essence. I'm going to have to use our sacrificial orb to make sure that stays full. I didn't even check to see how much stuff that requires. 5,000. All right, so that's fine. I don't have to worry about it. We'll drop down to 5,000. In fact, I should be able to do both of these things without having to refill the life essence in the altar. But yeah, let's go ahead and wait for both of those to complete. Then I'll continue on with our alchemy stuff over here, and we will move on. All right, guys, so I got my LP network completely filled. Yep, it's not drawing any more stuff out of the blood altar now. We're holding steady at 10,000 life essence in the altar. I went ahead and I crafted up 16 of each of these different things over here using our new apprentice blood orb. Right on. Okay, so the next thing was we were going to make these warded glass. Yep, graywood planks, zombie brain, those magic thingies we just made, and some mana glass, which is once again tossing vanilla glass into a mana pool. I made a few stacks of those a little while ago. And it looks like this is going to require some aspects, so we have to do this over on this crafting. Okay, so let's put these things here. This, zombie brains, and then mana glass. Okay, hold on. What's the rest of the recipe? Graywood planks. And those 2. All right, there we go. There's our first bits of warded glass. I'll probably, 20 might be enough to get us started here. That's going to allow us to make these ME Essentia storage housings where we can start putting in our storage components so we can melt down stuff from Thaumcraft and store it in our AE system. That was the entire purpose, I think, of the last 2 episodes. Well, last episode and this one. So yeah, we are now able to do that. And yeah, there's a lot of crafting involved. A lot of this ethereal essence is things that we are going to need, especially if we're going to up our storage to like the higher tiers. The 1K requires 2 each. And if we want to go to the 4K, yeah, that's 2, 4, 6, and then 10 plus another 1. Oh no, yeah, just 10 plus the calculation processor. Anyway, it's a lot of stuff that we're going to have to do. We're going to have to look at getting that ethereal, the ethereal essence. We do have a bit of it right now, and lots of different flavors. We'll probably want to set up a way where we are automatically spawning mobs in that drop these. I think wisps are the only thing that drops them. There might be something else that we can use. Yeah, we want to spawn things in that's going to drop these things and just collect a whole lot of them. Yep, that's something we'll be looking at doing in the future so we can melt these things down for their base aspects and use that for all of our crafting needs. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Feed the Beast Infinity Evolved. Hope you guys liked it. I will put the ComputeCraft program in the description down below. It's not complete, and this is just the old code that I used before in a previous episode. I can't remember. It was a while ago that I wrote this. But yeah, I'll put that down in the description for you guys if you want to check that out. But yep, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on the episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.